Hello everyone, and welcome to the VideoGameBear channel, the home of a bear who plays way too many video games. In fact, this bear happens to be a longtime fan of the Wonder Boy Monster World franchise, ever since the 1986 Wonder Boy from the arcade, as a matter of fact. I can still just about remember being mesmerized by that colourful looking title screen. Monster World 4 is the sixth title in the series, a side-scrolling action-adventure from 1994. While its original Mega Drive release sadly never made it outside of Japan, it was officially localized in 2012. Even after playing it for my first time many years after its initial release, it's definitely one of my favourite 16-bit titles. But let's be honest here, it's not a perfect game. A remake isn't totally out of the question. Enter Wonder Boy, Asha and Monster World, a 2D/3D update of the original Monster World 4. The footage you are seeing here is directly captured from the Nintendo Switch version. There are definitely a couple of quality and life improvements here which do slightly enhance the overall experience. A magical hit strike meter to unleash some extra damage, no more having to open up that pause menu to use items, even climbing up the ropes feels far better. And hey, the option to save your game anywhere is always a big plus in my book. Perhaps my favourite change here, however, is the castle hub area. It's just so much more easier to navigate when compared to the original. The soundtrack is maybe just okay. None of the remix music sounded terribly memorable, but there were at least one or two standouts here. The Ice Pyramid track in particular, my favourite piece of music from the original, still sounds quite nice in my opinion and carries across a slightly somber tone. The new 3D graphics on the other hand look rather cheaply made and it doesn't quite capture the atmosphere of the original pixel art. I do absolutely love the cel-shaded Asha model however. She can look pretty expressive and it does come quite close to matching the game's original illustrations. Just a shame then that stiff looking walk cycle leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not completely put off by these new 3D graphics mind you. They do look fairly similar to the simplistic chunky polygons you might see in a PSP or a 3DS side-scrolling platformer. But the somewhat blandness of the new graphics do stand out even more when compared to the beautiful hand-drawn art of the more recent Wonder Boy entries. The original Monster World 4 is also included on physical copies of Asha and Monster World, and it does appear to be preloaded on the actual Switch cartridge itself. The emulation for this version feels pretty solid too. No rewind options here, which is a bit of a bummer, but there are some incredibly in-depth CRT filters to play around with. Even with its flaws, the original Monster World 4 is undeniably a great game. This new 3D remake on the other hand is perfectly fine, but it just doesn't seem to really offer much new, aside a few incremental quality of life updates and a very simple visual upgrade. Feels more of a means as to tide us over while we wait for the next true Monster World installment, which is surely coming soon I hope. It could have been so much more, but hey, it's just nice to have the Monster World Wonder Boy franchise back again, especially after such a long hiatus. If you're after a decent action adventure to spend a couple of hours with, then Asha and Monster World is still a solid recommendation. And hey, it might even serve as a great way to introduce yourself to the series, if you happen to be a newcomer. Having the original version available on the cartridge is also a nice bonus, and to be honest, it's the reason why I ordered a copy in the first place. Give this one a look, I think.
Yabba yabba!